Welcome, everybody, to the 41st episode of the Made in Dreams podcast. I am your host, Mighty Vicious, here today, and as always, with Jamie James, a.k.a. the Queen's Brew, a.k.a. the Duke of Whippington.
The Duke of Whippington. Where do you get these names?
And we are joined today by the man who does it all, at least to me, Vince Kully, a.k.a. the Technomancer of Vibe, a.k.a. the Ex-Faceless Man, because we get to see him today, ladies and gentlemen. We get to see him. How you doing, my dude?
I'm doing pretty good. Thanks for having me on here. I'm excited.
Hey, it's been a long time coming. So I hope you came with an origin story. Because, we like to start it at the beginning, like the very beginning. Regale us with the legend of Bagger Vince.
Okay. I was born. Did you want to start that far back, or do you want to go even further?
No, further.
I think that's a good starting point. When you actually existed, that might be a good place to start.
Gotcha. Yeah. I don't have a crazy origin story. I was born and raised in Los Angeles, California, and I did my thing growing up. I went to school, went to college, got a degree in computer science and mathematics, some real nerdy stuff, and I grew up playing a ton of video games. I love video games. It's like my main number one hobby. And after school, I was making games for a little bit. And then my mom was like, you got to get a real job, make any money. So I got a job, and that's what I've been doing for the past 8 years. And so, that's as far as my origin story goes about me. And then, Dreams came out, was it last year, 2 years ago, 2020?
Mm-hmm. 2020.
Mm-hmm. And a friend of mine had told me about it, and he was like, dude, you got to see this thing on PlayStation. It's this thing called Dreams. People are like making games. I'm like, oh, yeah, okay. And then I saw some of the stuff on there, and I was like, whoa, people are making this on a PlayStation? And he's like, yeah, there's like this weird like visual programming language. And I've always found that kind of stuff interesting because I write software for a living, so it's always neat to see like those types of things. Like when the blueprints came out in the Unreal Engine, I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I popped in there and I was like, this looks wonky. It's probably going to be very difficult to make anything in there. And sometimes it is, but I don't know. I dove into the tutorials and I was like, holy crap, this is so cool. Like it's not limitless, but it's pretty wild how much cool stuff you can do in there. And that's just like the game part,
Yeah.
So basically what you're telling me is that you are a huge fan of the John Travolta, Hugh Jackman film Swordfish and the way that he visually built a virus. And so you were like, oh my God, Dreams is finally giving me my favorite, the ability to do what was not possible when they came out with Swordfish.
Maybe.
No, I bring that up because my friend who's a programmer, like he was all about that movie until they showed somebody visually build a virus, and he was like, he lost his mind. He was like, wait. So basically, would you say you came in for the logic first?
Yeah, totally. 100%. I was like, I want to see like, what I can do in here. But I'm like visually, I can't do art. I'm like, my girlfriend was telling me she didn't like the color of my bathroom wall. And I was like, I don't even know what color it is. Like, it's just not things I generally pay attention to. So, I can't draw to save my life. The sculpting is a challenge for me. That definitely didn't pull me in. Even though I did the tutorials, I was like, oh, that's kind of neat. And they're like, Yeah, I don't know. Did you do all the tutorials? You remember the one where there's like a little river and there's like a little cottage and like
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're like showing you how to do like the different strokes and stuff. I'm like, oh, this is pretty neat. And they're like, all right, now go ahead and color it out. And I was like, yeah, I don't think so.
Well, let me come in and say, sir, that you do art. But logic in itself is art. It's just mathematical instead of like instead of a physical medium. So I say don't sell yourself short.
Yeah, I just mean visual art is in particular.
Well, I mean, it's visual to me, but I'm just saying, stop fighting me on it. Yeah, I'm giving you props, bro. But
All right, well, thanks.
but that brings me into my first question, I guess, that I wanted to ask of you. Let me go ahead and switch this up. And by the way, I am still fighting those gnats for some reason, people. So if you see me swing at the air randomly, it's because I'm trying to stop something that's trying to accost me in the shadows, because y'all won't be able to see it on the cameras. But anyway, let's go ahead and switch over here where we got us a nice little reel of things and that he's worked on, he being Vince. And I'll go to my first question, because to follow up on what you were saying as far as like the physical. Like I was speaking with Lee's lady the other day, explaining how hard it is to see someone's logic and fully try to understand what's being shown.
Totally.
Like it's especially when they're working on something. So like a friend of mine sent me a piece of logic. He's like, yeah, I almost got this thing working. And to me, it looked like basically two gadgets just falling to the ground. And I was like, I'm pretty sure there's more to this than than I think. But to me, it just looks like two like things falling to the ground. And I'm like, hey man, good job. Like, you're well on your way. The whole time I'm like, yo, I have no clue what he's trying to show me, but I know he's excited. So he must have figured out something I'm just too smooth brained to like realize. So like, I guess the separation of the brain between physical and abstract mathematical compositions, like, is this what got you to make your dreams YouTube? The idea of clarifying and making that bridge traversable for people.
Yeah, totally. It started because I was looking at the subreddit all the time. And, there's like that the weekly how do I questions thread that's like pinned to the top every week. And I kept seeing like the same questions over and over and over again. And, I'd see the same people answering. It was like Tap Giles and a couple other people. But like they just kept coming up. And I tore through like every YouTube tutorial I could find when I was starting out. So like all the Jimmy Jules stuff, I watched like every Jimmy Jules thing. I watched every Tap Giles thing. I watched a bunch of Lady Lex UK's stuff. I watched Neon the Coder, Acer. They all had tutorial videos. And I didn't want to just do, because like everyone had videos of like, this is what this gadget is. And it's like, 15 minutes on how to use a laser scope or whatever. And not that there's anything wrong with those videos. I wanted to take it like a step further than that and build things that were like systems from games and showing how to do those in like efficient ways, I guess. So that's like the first thing I started on was a procedural generation series. So it was like how to build things with emitters and logic and stuff like that. And that was actually going pretty well. And then Dreams crashed and I lost all my save data and lost my imp.
Happened to me too. Happened to me too.
So I never finished the series, but it was pretty cool. I built like this like labyrinth thing that could like infinitely generate more and more levels, like all within one scene, because it would delete the old ones and create new ones. So yeah, and then after that, I was just like, let me see what other kind of like things I like from games that I haven't really seen a lot of in Dreams, and try and figure out how to make those and show people how to make them. And lately, I've been getting more into, in addition to that, like making things that are remixable and usable for other people to use and stuff like that.
So I'm glad you brought up the procedural, because the first time I saw your work was on YouTube, and it was the procedural labyrinth generator.
Mhm.
Logic video, and I followed to keep your channel in mind for when I decided I was going to try to take on Logic, which is happening now. But basically, I guess it's safe to say what got you into Logic was just the fascination that carries over from your actual profession.
Yeah, and like I said before, I've made other games in the past using Unity, and so yeah, totally. That was what drove me into it. It was my work stuff, and I took a lot of graphics programming and a lot of 3D math in college. So like all those things just kind of work together, and that's the stuff I think I'm generally pretty good at.
Oh, so you had like a real good head start coming into Dreams. Like you had a great understanding of how game development actually is prior to coming into it. So you had that good base to begin with then, would you say?
Yeah, I'd say a bit. However, Dreams is very different. Some things that you can do in Dreams, you end up having to kind of take a totally different approach than you would in another engine. And which I think is kind of fun. It ends up being like a puzzle game to me. Like every time I'm trying to figure something out, I really like puzzle games. So it's like, but yeah, some things that would take you like 2 seconds to do in Dreams would take you a long time in another engine. But then there are some things that aren't really that complicated to do in another engine, but to do in Dreams is actually kind of difficult. Because we don't have access to like big data structures like arrays and hash tables and things like that, or strings, which is like variables like text. Like we can't pass text around from gadget to gadget. So doing some of those things is kind of tough. But yeah, so totally, that's.
So I guess with that in mind, what's the hardest thing you've ever had to figure out logic-wise, and why is it the Katamari tech demo? No, I'm just...
Yeah, the Katamari tech demo was actually really easy. It just had the ball had like a what is that? One of those like sensors, the impact sensor. And it would detect those different objects, and they would take the point on the object where it hit, and that object that it hit, it just emitted that object within the group. So, and since none of it was movable, those other objects, they just stick on there.
Oh, it's not so easy.
Yeah.
Just like that, huh?
Yeah. It was like 4 wires. That's what I'm saying. Like some things are like really simple to do, and sometimes you have to kind of like take a back door or like think outside of the box, I guess, a little bit. Yeah, the hardest thing I've done in Dreams. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. Sculpting. Logic-wise, it's really tough to say. I mean, anything to do with text is very difficult. Like you remember the letter doors in Lock.
Yeah.
I mean, those were simplified because there were only 4 letters. But I'm sure there's plenty of logic behind that. Right now, I'm building a roguelike in Dreams.
I saw that post.
Yeah, so that map thing that I built like a map. It's on my Twitter. If anyone doesn't know what I'm talking about, I saw there's another YouTuber named Meanlad, and he made a video about those a little while back, which is really cool because he did it like a very Dreams way. There was like a trigger zone, and then that would branch out all the paths and stuff. But in order to store that and be able to leave the scene, go into a different scene, come back, and still have that map be there with your progress along the way. So I'd say that's probably one of the more challenging things I've been working on, because, like I said, we don't have access to like data structures. Really, we have variables which are, 7 digits long, either way, and yeah. So I'd say probably that. That's probably the hardest thing I've worked on so far.
All right. So Vorium is really in on this conversation.
Oh, is he?
He said, wait, can you emit into groups?
Yes, you can emit inside of groups. The weird thing about it is that means that those other objects are in the group, and even if they're off, they still affect the physics. So like that ball would kind of, it's not like perfectly center anymore. It would kind of like wobble because there were objects inside the group, and even though they're off, they still affect, like, I don't know, I guess I don't think it's the bounding box because they were inside of the ball, but it definitely throws off the center of mass. Seem to affect the physics, which is kind of interesting.
So I guess next would be to go into music.
Yeah.
And my first question as far as the music goes is that in a lot of your music, I get the sense of a 8-bit retro gaming nostalgia. And
yeah.
And it's fused with like a new age electronica feel for me. Like Darkest Deceit Preamble, it reminded me of Castlevania. Like it's like I could feel the Belmont whip in my hand when I was listening to it. And like Electric Queen has a bit of the old school 1949 SmashTv scrolling shooter vibe to it.
Uh-huh.
And so like, is that on accident or is retro like a big influence for you?
I mean, video game music in general is definitely a big influence. I grew up playing the Super Nintendo, like, for years, and then so there's definitely a lot of retro inspiration, but it's not all like that. I wouldn't say all my music is like that. I do have some like orchestral stuff. I think those two specifically, Darkest Deceit was for a like dungeon crawler game, so that was already kind of the vibe I was going for, so I'm glad that worked out. There's a really cool remix of that by Sockwielder, by the way.
Okay.
He did an amazing job with that. And then, the what was it? Electric Queen. That was for the boss jam, the boss battle music jam.
Yeah.
So I had video games in mind when I made that for sure.
Okay.
Like, because you're very logic minded, that's what you do for a business, and that's predominantly what you came into Dreams for. Have you had any music experience in the past, and if not, what inspired you to like delve into music the way you have within Dreams?
So I mean, I started playing music in middle school. I joined the band. I was the dorky kid in the band. I played a euphonium, which is it's like a tuba, but it's like the same register as the trombone, so it looks like a little smaller tuba. I played that in middle school, and then I started taking drum lessons at the end of middle school. So then through all of high school, I was in drumline, and I was in the marching band playing tuba and stuff. And then I was also in jazz band playing trombone. So I dove really hard into music, but I wouldn't say I learned very much about music itself. I mean, I learned how to play these instruments, and I learned that I liked music, and I learned I learned a lot about like what jazz sounds like and classical music and stuff like that. But I didn't learn like a lot of theory or anything like that. So I couldn't tell you like how to make music, until somewhat recently. So then I got really into trying to figure that stuff out over the last few years. So, I have a guitar, and like, I'm not very good at it, but it's helped me visualize some stuff. And then, honestly, Dreams has helped me a ton with this because, there's so many different ways to visualize the music in Dreams. Like you can open up the key thing, and I bought a little MIDI piano thing that sits on my desk, and I can plug that in using that MIDI 2 OSC thing that Alex wrote. So I can actually play things on there and hear things. And so, and then, of course I dove through like 80 plus hours of like music related stuff on YouTube, like theory stuff, a lot of jazz stuff. So I've definitely picked up a lot. And then through just like creating music, I've definitely learned a lot more. Through creating music on Dreams, I've definitely learned so much more about, you know, why something sounds a certain way, what different things make me feel a different way. So it is definitely much less logic focused than doing, like, it's like the other side of the brain, right? It's a lot more about like emotions and the way things make me feel. That drives the music creation more often than the, okay, this should sound good because this is, you know, whatever way. So yeah, it's definitely a different thing. And for that reason, it's nice to do both of them. When I'm going like really hard, like in like real life work stuff, at the end of the day, the last thing I want to do is come sit down and work in like a another programming language that, you know what I mean, and do more logic stuff.
Yeah.
So a lot of, you know, when I'm going really hard in work, at work, then when I come home, all I want to do is make music. So then I'll do that. So it's nice to have both outlets, you know. That's why I lost the Logic label in the game.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I'm stuck at audio.
Yeah, well, that does seem to be the case, though. I mean, like, you know, I know you're known for Logic, like that's pretty much your core within Dreams. But like, to look at you as a dreamer, I would say, oh yeah, he's a Dreams musician now. Like that's his thing.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, I still do both. It's just I think it goes based off time played. So it takes a lot longer to make music for me than it does to build something with Logic.
Well, we're on the complete opposite sides. I love music in Dreams. Like that's pretty much what I do in Dreams is music, because I'm just no good at sculpting. I'm terrible at Logic. So yeah, music is my jam on Dreams. I absolutely love it.
Nice.
But the thought of doing Logic the way you do is mind blowing. I couldn't even contemplate it.
I'm learning now, but it's still like I need like a starting point and then to like reverse engineer and then try to understand it while doing it, which is, I guess, is the way everybody would learn it. But yeah, like I went into that, and I'm at the same time dabbling in music now, and so we'll see which one I pick up faster. And I don't know. For me, I think Logic might win.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, like I mean, I am a musician. Like I have a guitar. I'm okay. I'm all right. And you know, songwriting and stuff, but for some reason it's like there's something really simple about music that I just can't get in Dreams, and I don't know why. So we'll see. But I have two of your pieces that I wanted to know if there was a backstory to it. Yeah. The Candyman is truly terrifying. Like I don't know, like great job, but when I heard that, I just it had the right, it hit the right places where I was just like, I could really see this behind something that's scaring the shit out of me. So like, was there a story behind that musical arrangement?
Well, I'm glad to hear that it worked. Not really. Other than I wanted to hear more jazz in Dreams because I hadn't really heard any, and that chord progression for that song is rhythm changes. It's the same. Actually, maybe that was Autumn Leaves. Yeah, that's what it was. There's a jazz standard called Autumn Leaves, and I think the timeline in the thing says Autumn Screams or something like that. So yeah, it was just a jazz standard, and I wanted to do a little like xylophone solo thing on there. I thought that'd be fun. And then I figured I'd throw in some like cinematic sounding stuff before all that cuts in, which is what I ended up doing. So I was actually doing share play with a friend, and he had all these ideas like, oh, you should make like little footstep sounds here, come in, and we'll make it like sound like someone's chasing someone. So that was like a joint effort there. So yeah, there wasn't really like a backstory. This isn't like not like a personal thing that happened to me when I was trick or treating and or anything like that.
I was like, did you stand in front of the mirror and say Candyman 5 times, and then get freaked out and go to dreams and be like, I gotta write music?
Oh yeah,
like,
well of course I did that a lot as a kid. Bloody Mary,
yeah,
Candyman thing. Nothing ever happened. Everyone's always like freaking out.
So next is His Story is History.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no backstory there. I know. It's not a true story. I thought I wrote that in the description. It was the bluegrass jam. That was for the bluegrass jam, and everyone for like weeks in the music jams had just like not been voting for it, and like there were certain people that were like, I'm never fucking doing bluegrass. Like fuck this, and and
wow.
I was really excited for it because it's like try something new, you know. And I never really worked on anything bluegrass before. And then, so yeah, I already had like the song in mind, not the words, but like the chords and stuff like that. And then I figured, well, I might as well try and throw some lyrics on here. I mean, there are some similar things from my life within that story. I did have a girlfriend named Jamie. She did join the Navy. I had a girlfriend named Coco, and she played the saxophone. I've never met. I don't remember what the drunken thing where the person met someone, he thought it was a woman, and it was I forget the name I used, but that part wasn't real. And I'm not married and I'm not engaged, so the ending wasn't real either. I just didn't want to leave it on a downer.
Okay, well, I mean,
yeah,
nothing wrong
very
with
creative
that.
nonetheless.
Thanks.
Yeah, I was like, there has to be something in there because it's not the type of thing that I think, well, that I would think someone would just be like, you know what, here we go, and that's the song that comes. But
yeah,
but great job.
Thanks.
And I know Jamie had a lot of questions regarding music, so I'm gonna step back again for a second here and let him attack you, accost you with questions.
Okay, I got my shield up.
So what would you say is your favorite style of music in dreams? Like, what do you love to create the most? Is there a certain style that you found through dreams that you wouldn't necessarily have created, but because of how dreams allowed you to make music, has it sort of made you delve into other genres than you typically would have done?
Yeah, probably like more electronic music, because I don't own any what do they call them, like digital audio workstations. I never really got into any of that stuff because it always just seemed so expensive of a hobby to get into. You know, you're like buying all these sample packs and whatever. So, you know, I mean, before that, it was like me making music with like a loop pedal on my phone, or just playing the guitar, or something like that, or playing with friends. You know, I played in a worship band for like 16 years playing the drums. So, you know, I've played a lot of music with people, but I had never really worked on like electronic stuff. And Dreams makes it really easy to do that. Especially it has all the oscillator stuff in there, so you can like make your own, you know, you can like fine tune an instrument to sound like 50 different things. So probably the more electronic stuff, I'd say. Outside of Dreams, I'm like really into jazz and classic rock, and you know, I mean, there's not really anything I dislike. I'm not really into like top pop, like the top 40.
Just
pop.
go ahead and say country. Just say new
I'm okay with country, I guess. Modern country, yeah, sure. I put that in the same category as pop.
Yeah. Okay. Then yeah,
but like bluegrass
awesome.
and like yeah.
Nice.
I mean, I'm really into bluegrass, which it's not country, but it kind of falls in that same southern.
I would consider I would consider it more folk than anything else personally. But I mean, I just wish that you know, Jamie would kind of pick up on you know, that as well, you know.
What, the country?
Like, no, just the eclectic like, you know, influences, you know, listening to everything instead of using his whip to beat down all of our music opinions.
Why, Jamie, what's your thing?
So with Deeno, like before Deeno, like before Dreams, like I created music in Logic Pro. Like that was my DAW of choice, and I made a lot of electronic music. That was pretty much the thing that I created. A lot of dubstep, trap, drum and bass, like, you know, all the electric stuff. Produced a couple of albums in Logic, and yeah, really love music creation. But then moving into Dreams with Deeno, it's a very much a cinematic experience. So I thought, okay, well, we need to start to think about cinematic music, very orchestral, you know, got that cinematic vibe to it, and it's nothing that I've produced before.
Right.
So I went in completely blind developing that, and since actually starting the project, I've completely fell in love with developing cinematic music now.
Cool.
I just absolutely love it. Love playing with strings, and
it's fun.
I love it. It's just, there's something about it, especially like epic songs, like with epic builds and stuff. It just, I don't know, it just gives me that endorphin, and I just absolutely love it.
Yeah.
But Mighty Vicious seems to think that the whole entire production is going to be orchestral. But it's not.
I can only go off of the information I've been given.
No, I do intend for the whole Deeno OST to be completely different types of genres. It's not going to stick to the one, but he is adamant to think that because I have fell in love with the way that orchestral music is now, that's going to be the entire thing, and that's nothing what it's going to be. It's going to be different.
I'm going to say that now I have figured out what happened with the last podcast. You remember when the timer just went out or something?
Yeah.
Well, I just figured it out, and you're right. We're probably gonna have to switch from Google Meets now.
Oh wait, there's a limit now.
Get ready to click back on the link to open up the same chat again. Because for some reason it's going to flip out in a second. Well, in like 5 minutes.
5 minutes, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and get that primed. I just wanted to make sure y'all knew before it happened. But yeah, it looks like we're gonna be switching up to something different here. So yeah. So but we won't
of the internet.
Yeah, we won't lose cams or anything, but we are going to do just an intermission. Yeah. Where we get back set up, because I did not know they had done that, and Google, as you pointed out before, keeps changing things, and they're breaking something that isn't broken. They're like, or trying to fix something that isn't broken. But anyway, so I guess, do y'all want to just go? Well, no, let's just wait for it to clip out so we look silly, and then we'll get back. Yeah, I'll send another link. But so continue. Sorry to interrupt. I just saw that and didn't want it to.
So yeah, so like, you know, with the whole orchestral thing and the cinematic vibe, you know, I definitely want that to be a sort of a base of what we based the OST for on Deeno, because it's such a cinematic experience. It needs to have a cinematic, you know, soundtrack so that it links and everything's connected. It's very emotional, the story, so the music has to play that part to really help bring out that emotion as well. But yeah, I definitely want it to have different types of genres in there. I don't want it to just be the one thing. But my issue is going to be changing the genres, having completely different genres, but also making it sound like one entire piece of music. Like, I want people to be able to go on Spotify and listen to the album from start to finish, and it sound like one entire track. I want it to just be a seamless experience from start to finish. So
very cool.
Yeah, it's going to be a challenge, but there will be different genres, I promise.
Guys, you heard it here. If he's lying, we're gonna call him. We're gonna call him on it. But no, anyway. So I guess continue.
No, sorry, you carry on. No. Let's move to you.
Okay.
I'm sure you've got more questions too.
Yeah. Wait. What kind of music do you play, Mighty?
It's as far as like outside of Dreams.
Sure.
I would say mostly like indie / folk.
Cool.
Yep, and
nice.
Also rap. So, and just not normal singing. So yeah, just
gotcha.
I like every form of music except for modern country because it's garbage. You bring me back like a Waylon Jennings or the old heads. Oh, I'm down. But this new stuff is killing me. So it makes me want to write off the whole genre, and I'm just too steeped in it. But yeah. And as far as dreams, there's this. Something really simple that I don't get, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to thank you personally for the music videos that you have put up on YouTube, because Lord knows I'm going to be scouring those now, just like I did with Logic, to try to get myself up to speed here. It's kind of sad that like most of the time I'm just like, man, I wish the recording limit was longer. I just play my guitar and do it.
Yep, totally. Totally agree with that.
Yeah. Trap money, Jamie.
Trap money, Jamie. That's gonna be my new name for a while, isn't it? That's gonna stick for a bit.
I think that is gonna stick for a bit.
Boy.
Well, if you come across anything that you need help with in the music thing, I mean, just let me know. I'd be happy to help. Also, there are a lot of people that are super helpful with music stuff. I'm still learning stuff. Oh, the call's about to end.
Yeah, let's go ahead and take that little break here, and I'll let's. Oh, good. And now you two are in different spots.
Now I'm Vince Kully.
Yes,
Yay!
we have switched. I
think Deeno is going to be. I've been working on trying to do some different sounds.
I suddenly know all of this Logic knowledge, and I need to write it down before it disappears. Too late. It's gone. Too late.
Yep.
It's gone.
Yep. It's over.
Done.
It's over.
Yeah.
So
I now no longer know any Logic. Thank you.
I mean, I don't know what else to do, guys. I don't know. I don't know what to do. Well, I won't drag my drama into this, so forget it. Wait, what happened? What happened? Oh no. I thought that the Logic in that radio menu video looked familiar. Now I'm slightly upset. Lol. If you are serial about that, yeah, handle that on your own time. I mean, if you have like, that's the thing. I guess we could get into that a little bit, talking about Logic. Like everybody has their own way of doing Logic, sure. But would you say that there's like, have you created a signature per se, like something that you do that when you compare it to other Logic magicians that you're like, that's how you can tell it's me?
Not really. Maybe formatting, but other than that, no. I feel like I'm always trying to find like the simplest way to do things. And one of the cool things about Dreams is there's like so many different ways to achieve the same effect. And sometimes they're like very straightforward, and sometimes they're, you think a little bit outside the box and you come up with something really neat. And I've definitely picked up little pieces from other people. So like Tap Giles got me really into using timelines for a lot of Logic stuff. That's definitely like because of him. And yeah, not really, but there are some things, I play around with stuff and figure some things out on my own, and I end up liking that. But no, there's not really a signature, I guess.
Oh,
I don't know. Yeah.
At least not that you can tell.
Not that I can tell, yeah.
There might be, you just don't know it.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. If someone knows of my signature, please let me know.
It's the Kully method.
So, as far as game design, I guess that's what's next for us. Like I noticed you were, working on that game with Meanlad, who was another Logic champion, on a game. And how did that come together?
Which the Bloodlines, that one?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, I actually didn't do any Logic for that. He asked me to do some voice lines for the Arch King, which is the villain. And so I did some voice lines, and I showed him how to make it sound like demonic. There's like a scene in there where, it sounds pretty crazy. And then I did those in a couple minutes, and he still had a couple days left. So I was like, do you want me to make some music for this too? So I did the music tracks for that game as well. I mean, it was all relatively simple music, but I think it added a little bit to it. Sound design is so important when it comes to games. You know what I mean? This current jam, The Silence is Golden, is going to be interesting to play through, because sound is like so crucial. Like good sounds can really make a game feel so much juicier. You know what I mean?
No, I couldn't agree more. Like a good example of that comes to mind is God of War, when you throw the Leviathan axe. Like that sound when it comes back to you and he grabs it is just so nice. Yeah, it's like it's perfectly done. Like I can imagine them sitting there for hours going through different sounds of what to put there to make it sound just right. And it's just so pleasing. Like when you hear it go whoosh, 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 and he grabs it, it's just, it's just, totally. It's just so good.
It's so smooth and chunky.
Chunky juice.
So chunky.
Yeah. There are certain games that you can play with no sound. I've played Rocket League for like thousands of hours, so now I can kind of play that without sound. But I don't know, do either of you guys play Hades?
Yes, love it. Yeah, love it.
You can't play that game without sound. It's just so good to play with sound. Not only is the music incredible, but like all of the different sounds of all the the enemies and all the combat. Like without it, it just wouldn't feel the same.
Agreed.
Really wouldn't keep the feel.
Yeah.
So how did that come together? He just reached out to me on PlayStation Network or Twitter or something, because we've worked on a couple things together in the past. One was a game that I never finished, unfortunately, and I don't know, I kind of fell out of kind of lost interest a little bit. And then I wrote a sing-along, a little kid sing-along for like little kids to teach about syllables, and like how to like clap out syllables. And there's a bunch of animals in there. And I haven't released it yet because I'm still trying to procure all of the animals for the scene. So I invited him because he's pretty good at sculpting. So he sculpted a bunch of little cute animals, and now I got Yada and Tapjaw's in there making animals too. It's going to be so cute. But aside from that, we haven't really done anything else. We're just, when I found his channel, we were both. He didn't have a lot of subscribers. He had like 100 subscribers. At the time I had like 300 or something, and I was like, whoa, this dude makes incredible videos. So I reached out to him. I was like, dude, I'm gonna tell people about your channel, and we've kind of stayed friends through PlayStation Network or Twitter or whatever ever since. So he reached out to me and asked if I wanted to do some voices for the game.
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, and you said that you wanted to talk about you're working on a Dreams project with the Timme, if I'm saying that right. So tell me more.
I don't know if it's the Timme or the Timme. I've been saying the Timme.
I was thinking it might be the time. I'm not sure. Just really.
Yeah. Oh, sometimes they say the Timme. I think of South Park.
That's
yeah. But so he made this really cool. I don't know if either of you guys ever see that Twitch Plays Pokemon thing back in the day.
No, I don't think I have.
All right, there was this channel called Twitch Plays Pokemon, and it wasn't a person playing Pokemon, it was the chat. So chat would type up and it would move the character up, or chat would type X. So it was hilarious to watch the chat try and go through combat because the little cursor's moving around and someone's trying to get to run away and the other person's trying to attack. So he made a chat bot that does the same thing, and he was using remote play, and he figured out that if you press enter, it sends an X. If you press escape, it sends an O. So he had built this Twitch Plays Dreams bot that would listen to your chat and send commands through remote play. So him and it seemed like he had a whole collection of games that would work with this, but he had made a couple of games where your chat could play this game in Dreams through your chat on your stream. So you could show the game on the stream and your chat would be playing the game. And I had heard about that, I think through Lee's on her Twitch channel. She was talking about it. And I was like, whoa, because I'm always looking for cool stuff to do, like that has to do with dreams, but outside of dreams too. You know, like Toronto Mayor, like he's got that bot that just like scans indreams.me and clicks like on everything that's new, right? Anyone who's following. Like I think that's neat, and I've always been into trying to see how I can incorporate what I do at work, because I do it every day, into stuff that I enjoy. So, you know, I've always been looking for something like that. So I reached out to him and I was like, hey, that's really cool. Like, how did you do it? I was asking him, like, you know, what he had used to make it. And he mentioned that he couldn't figure out how to send any of the other buttons up from the controller. He can only do X or 0 and the D-pad. And I was like, oh, well, I'll take a look and see if I can find something else, like a, you know, some sort of emulator driver or something. And I found one that was written, it was like a wrapper on top of a wrapper. There's a C++ driver called VIGEM. It's like a video game emulator, controller emulator. You can emulate either a 360 controller or a PlayStation controller or DS4. And I had found one written in Python that was like super simple to use. And so I sent it to him. And he's like, I don't really know Python. I was like, well, I can help you if you want. And he's like, sure. And so I ended up standing up like a separate server that the streamer can run that would accept. So he built like a client, basically, right? This thing that reads commands, and I had built like this backend server. So now they communicate with each other. So now you can use the sticks and all the buttons and you know, the D-pad and stuff like that. So I helped him by building that. And then, you know, he had this genius idea of, oh, what if we used like the stick, because you can send it in decimal, like you can send not just up all the way, but you can send partial directions. He's like, what if we use that to denote like different players for a multiplayer game? So now he's got this thing set up where you can have like 16 people or more playing the same game in Dreams through your Twitch channel. It's like a 16-player multiplayer game.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Absolutely crazy.
And, you know, that's just like the tip of the iceberg, I think. Yeah. So yeah, it was pretty cool. But if you haven't seen it, you should go check it out. I think it's timme.cc/bot is the website. I can paste it in the chat if you want.
Yeah.
But
also,
yeah.
while you're doing that, I would like to say that there's like a mini game happening over here. Because when y'all came back in different spaces. So the aspect ratio I had set for your cameras basically got swapped. So you became really in the camera and he became really far back. So like as you're getting more excited about talking about this project, you're like leaning, forcing, and I'm like, while you were talking, I'm like, I'm listening, but I'm sitting here changing aspect ratios live on the go. My bad. Man, it was like a mini game. It was fun.
Lean back.
No, it was fun. I enjoyed it. So let me see here. Jamie, can you take that link and put it into chat? Definitely got to spread that.
Yeah, it's a really cool thing. And he built a chip in the game and a multiplayer controller in game that people can remix and use in their own game. So if you wanted to make a game that uses this for chat to play, it's all there.
Awesome.
Yeah, really cool project.
The Dreams community bringing it to us once again. So with that, I guess we're going to move on to talking about Dreams as a platform. So how has your experience with Dreams been overall?
It's been great. Kind of changed my life a little bit. I mean, I already had a YouTube channel, but it was like, you know, I was posting like stupid Apex Legends videos, and it was just for me and my friends, really. Like, you know, it started when we were playing a lot of PUBG back in the day. You know, just like hilarious crap that we were doing as friends. But yeah, so I wouldn't have a YouTube channel without it, and definitely wouldn't have streamed anything ever. But yeah, Dreams has been amazing. It's so fun. It's crazy how much time you can just really sink, or at least how much time I can just sink into it, even when I'm not even doing anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just kind of playing around, doing whatever. Yeah.
So any thoughts on what you want from Dreams in the future, like as a platform, music maker, creation engine? Like, give us your go. Shoot your shot.
I mean, multiplayer is the biggest thing for me. I had built this game before I got a job after college that it's like a total passion project of mine, and that's just stayed with me. And I really want to make it in Dreams, but it wouldn't work on a local screen. It's like did you ever play Splinter Cell? You ever play the multiplayer?
Yes.
Splinter Cell? So there was the spies. It was like one team was spies and the other team were mercenaries, and the spies had to come in. So basically I made that, but it was like a top-down 2D turn-based spies versus mercs game. So kind of like Capture the Flag, but turn-based. And yeah, and obviously that wouldn't work locally because you need to hide the screen from the other player. I mean, it would work if someone was like, "Okay, now you turn around, and cover your eyes," right? And that was built for the phones, for like iPhone. And obviously, I want to make that. I want to make that so badly in Dreams. That's why I was so excited when MC Alchemist made that tactics game.
Yeah,
wait. Because like in games like those, tactics games are so fun to do multiplayer, but obviously can't do multiplayer right now. So that's like definitely like the biggest thing. I understand that that's got to be a very difficult challenge for Media Molecule to get that to work. Multiplayer in general. I mean, networking can get kind of messy. It's kind of tough, so. But I understand.
It's not just the front end of like, giving people multiplayer though. Like they've got to first develop multiplayer to work in Dreams. Then they have to be able to figure out a way of making the multiplayer logic easy enough for Dreamers to implement into their own games. And then you have the whole other thing of, they don't want multiplayer just to be logic to develop into games. Like they want you to be able to play multiplayer in Dream Shaping so you can have other people in your scene at the same time live messing.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah,
that'd be crazy. Like a Google Doc.
Yeah, it's just crazy. Like to think how they're gonna make that work is just incredible.
Yeah, I didn't even think that was something they were working on. People being able to edit together. That's pretty nuts.
I'm not sure if it's a fact that's what they're doing. I'm more sure I heard somewhere a Media Molecule dev saying like, they're definitely looking at broadening the horizons of what they think multiplayer can be in Dreams, not just limiting it to being adding multiplayer to games. I think they want it to be on the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
So
gotcha. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that'll be an amazing thing. I mean, I feel like that'll not only would it be super fun to play with, but I feel like that would keep people coming back into Dreams to play games. Because if people make great multiplayer games, that's going to keep the player base up, I think. I'm not one of those people that's constantly thinking that like Dreams is dying or the player base is dwindling. I don't really tend to focus on that kind of thing. But I mean, I couldn't see how it would hurt. You know what I mean? Having multiplayer to really boost people, the engagement, I guess, keep people coming back. Multiplayer is going to be so sweet. And there's some total wizards in the Dreams community that already make incredible games. I can't wait to see what happens when multiplayer comes out. That's going to be awesome.
It's going to change the face of Dreams, I think. I really do believe that is when Dreams is going to have its moment. It just takes one game to really like pick up something like Among Us, super simple but super addictive and gone viral. All it takes is one thing like that to happen in Dreams with multiplayer, and suddenly you've got everybody downloading Dreams to play that one particular thing.
Yeah.
then it opens them up to their everything else that Dreams offers, and that's where it's going to really kick off.
Absolutely. Not only that, but it'll also, I feel like it's also going to help a lot of people end up finding their own thing too. You know, I mean, a lot of game companies come out of, or at least not a lot of game companies, but there are plenty of games out there and companies that have been created solely because someone made a mod in another already popular multiplayer game, and then, you know, it went off. PUBG was a mod for Arma 2, and Dota was a mod for Warcraft 3. You know what I mean? So
yeah.
And you know, we already got some people doing that. I forgot his name. The guy made Slice. You know, he's now working on you know, his own implementation of Slice and Game Maker. So I feel like that'd also be awesome to see people make really cool games in multiplayer and Dreams, and then say, all right, let's take this head on and you know, do it, like, not for real, but you know what I mean, for real. Like, let's make a company out of this. I don't know. I see a lot of bright future, not just for Media Molecule, but for people in the Dreams community as well. As long as Dreams continues to grow, I feel like so will other people involved with it. Yeah, so it's really neat.
It's funny you mentioned that, because I had a conversation with someone this week about Dreams, and their argument was that Dreams was not a real engine. And I was like, well, you know, that's a lie. So I was like, I sent him a bunch of videos of some games in Dreams, YouTube videos of playthroughs of some of these games. And as soon as he saw these videos, he was like, okay, no, I take that back. It actually is an engine. Yeah. He's like, okay, so now you understand what Dreams can do. Now I want to tell you why I think Dreams is going to be a massive impact on gaming in general in the future. Because like, he's like, oh, you always think Dreams is going to like change the industry and stuff. I'm like, but it can.
It already is.
Yeah, I was like, it really can. Like, you know, I really do believe that we're going to see tons of actual indie studios come out of Dreams, because it gives people the opportunity to see what game dev is like at a much lower level of learning. Like, it's so much easier to test out game development or any type of creation in general within Dreams, really, than any other conventional engine. Yeah. And so it gives people that taste of what it's like. And if they have a taste for it and they find it comfortable within Dreams, like they find the logic easy to work with, and it's super simple for them to crack on with it, then they'll have no issues moving into Unreal or Unity, because if they get it in Dreams, they're going to get it anywhere else. Logic is logic regardless of where it's from. It's all comes down to the same basics of logic anyway. And so I think it's like, if I was going to if someone come to me and said, like, you know, I'm toying around with the idea of making a career in gaming, like I'm thinking of going to college and learning game development, I'd be like, before you do that, give Dreams 3 months. If you don't get on with Dreams, then you're not going to get on with another engine. It's as simple as that, because this is like the lowest learning level, and if you can't get on with that, then I don't think you're going to get on with any other engine anyway. Like, because I feel like the other engines are so much more difficult to learn than Dreams is. If you can't get on with Dreams, are you really going to get on with another engine?
Sure.
So I guess
I can see that point.
Well, I want to wrap it back around to you, Vince. So, do you see it as a professional path forward for you personally, or is it safely in the, you know, spare time hobby to create art and mess around with systems? Like, how do you see your future with Dreams?
I mean, I have no intentions of this turning into like my full-time career, either working on Dreams or game development in general. Mainly one, because I really enjoy my job. I mean, it's not game related, but it is software related, and you know, I like it. But also, I don't know. I don't want to kill my hobby.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I get that.
You know, and I feel like if I did that all day, plus, I don't know, industry standards seem kind of weird right now. There's a lot of talk about crunch and you know, abuse and mismanagement and you know, all kinds of stuff like that. And I mean, obviously that varies from company to company, and I'm sure there are some awesome. I mean, Media Molecule seems like the gold standard for a game company to actually want to work for. Everyone there seems genuinely happy, and they don't seem to be suffering from crunch. I mean, I don't know the inside, obviously, but
yeah,
you know, when you hear these horror stories about other video game companies, which I just won't name, you know.
So basically,
I've done interviews at game companies too. You know, I've done interviews for software positions, and I always get creeped out when I'm there. Every time I get creeped out, it feels like a cult, and you know, it's got this weird vibe, and you can see like people don't seem. I mean, there's all this cool free stuff, and the campuses are beautiful, and you know, the unlimited paid vacation and all this bullshit. But yeah, it just means nobody takes vacation, you know.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, you know, then, you know, a month later, after every one of these interviews, I hear some horror story from the company that I turned down, and you know, so yeah, it's not really. I don't think I'm going to be moving forward in terms of building a game company or anything like that.
See, I don't know.
But I wouldn't say that I'm not going to be making money off games at some point in the future. I mean, that's passive income is nice, and you know, I like building games. I just don't think I want to do it full time.
So, I mean, I was gonna try to steer. I'm being honest here. Mm-hmm. You were like, I could talk about multiplayer, and I was gonna try to steer you away from it, and be like, you know, other than the ever-present interest in multiplayer, like, you know, what's something you're looking for? But I mean, I think what I just heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like to me that you want multiplayer so bad that you're willing to go work for Media Molecule to help them put the system together to make it happen.
Yeah, unfortunately, they're in another country. Yeah, I mean, I got family here. I can't leave Los Angeles, you know.
Wow.
So unless they're willing to open an office in LA or San Diego or somewhere, you know, I'm not going to be leaving the country to work.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw when we talked to Tom Dent when we had him on, but yeah, I was talking about scouting offices for them here, so I was like, so we can grow this family. But like, I don't know, like,
I mean, I would love to if they came to LA. Hell yeah, I'd be submitting my application to work on anything in Dreams. Like I said, it seems like a great company to work for. But I also really like my job now, so I don't really see any reason to leave. So, yeah. Plus, I don't technically meet the qualifications for the network engineer positions. I've never worked on a AAA game.
But you worked on enough Dreams games, though. That's enough. That's enough of Media Molecule.
Yeah, you're from the inside. You're from the inside, man. Yeah. You got the inside track. But yeah, so
it's Vince Kully. Yeah, let him in. He's fine. Yeah, he hits all the right markers. He's good.
Yeah.
So I guess then outside. Go ahead.
I could be dog shit developer. You don't know.
We'd find out. I'm willing to give you the shot so that you find out. So
yeah, that'd be funny.
So I guess then, other than multiplayer, like, is there something you'd like to see added to Dreams? Something that would affect your design process at a base level, I guess.
Yeah. Well, another big one for me would be string support, and by string I mean text, being able to pass text around from gadget to gadget. You know, UI building in Dreams is a little tedious, and I've been doing a lot of that recently. And I mean, aside from being able to like group up gadgets to move them and stuff like that, you know, it would be amazing if you could pass text around, because you could build these static things that sit there and they just take in different data. Yeah, it'd be great to be able to move text around as you do with numbers as well. That's big.
Have you ever asked them about that?
No, I've posted about it, but I don't know. is it? I don't know if it's on the Trello or not. I don't really check that very often. It would be incredible. I think it might be up there, but I'm not sure.
I would say it's definitely on their list, but I would say it's probably right at the bottom, simply because it only meets the criteria for a select group of people.
Yeah.
Like,
I can see that.
Do you know what I mean? Well, I suppose so. Like, strings is basically coding, and the whole logic system that they've built is to try and avoid the whole text-based coding aspect.
Yeah, I mean, I get that, but at the same time, just having a PlayStation keyboard pop up when the game asks you what your name is, like you have to roll your own keyboard logic or whatever. You gotta like build this whole contraption that takes in letters as different numbers and converts it all into binary and stores it in a variable. Like it's a lot of work. When it could be nice if you said, "Hey, what's your name?" and a little built-in PlayStation keyboard pops up. They could type it. And then you could pass that around. So every NPC says, "Hey, Mighty," You know what I mean? Because right now, you have to do all this work just to get that kind of functionality, and that would just be just for what your name is. But if you were able to have, right now they have that like dialogue gadget where you can have like different branching trees that go to different things. But if things could be stored and passed around, text could be stored and passed around. I mean, you could do all kinds of stuff with that. More text-based adventures, and I don't know. There's just so many cool uses for it, and I think that would open up a lot of doors. I mean, it may not seem like it's a very like you said, it seems like it's just for a select few people. Like it's not going to be that useful, but I think. Just like with anything in Dreams, there's, you see this thing and you're like, it doesn't seem that useful. And then you find out that
I suppose
people find ways to do crazy things. Yeah. I mean, Media Molecule employees all the time say like, wow, I had no idea you could do this in Dreams because someone figured it out. So the more tools, the better, I think. And that's definitely a tool I would love to see added.
This tool specifically, while you were explaining it, because remember, as far as logic, so smooth. But when you were explaining it, I was like, this sounds like something that would be on like the PC port. Like it's like something that to me would go hand in hand with that move to the platform. And if it were to ever happen, we don't know what is it. But I think Dreams as a whole will just explode if that happens. But at this moment, because we have 15 minutes left, I know Jamie wanted to make an announcement, and I have an announcement. You wanted to tell the people about Deeno?
Yes. So we announced a while ago, that we're looking for more people to get involved with the project. We want more people joining Lucid Nebula Studios to help with the development of Deeno. The game has got much bigger since our team has grown, and we have these amazing ideas of what we want to create. And to do that, you need more people to make it in a reasonable amount of time. At the minute, we have a great team and development is going smoothly, but we would benefit greatly by having more people come on board and helping us with the project. So I've been redeveloping our website. I've got a whole brand new website in the works. I'm going to release it this weekend. And on the website, I've got some detailed descriptions of what we're looking for from dreamers that are interested in joining the group and helping with the game. And, if it suits you and you're thinking about joining, just pop us a message. There'll be all the links on each description of how you can contact us, and we'll be in touch. And hopefully we can branch the team out a bit more and get development going a bit quicker.
Yes, look up Jet Yeti, look up Deeno teaser trailer on In Dreams, and you'll see it. And it's also on the YouTube that's right below this video player. So for the Made in Dreams podcast, you'll see it there, and you can see the project we're talking about. But yeah, we need animators. We need people and we realize this is hard. So don't think shade is being thrown when I say this. We need animators, and we need people who aren't burnt out, and can focus on the project, because that has been something that, as the project has gotten bigger, has become of a thing. Like everybody's, I mean, guys, I have a new gray hair in my goatee because I have so many freaking projects, which I'm about to grow in a moment, and it, like, this week has been so stressful. So, like, I'm saying, we understand that a lot of people don't have the time to really shoot for what we're shooting for. But if you do have the time, if you do, come talk to us. And is there anything else you wanted to say on that? Because I'm about to go into quite the.
Yeah. So before you go into yours, so like, we are looking for serious people. It's a serious project. We've got a great vision of what we want Deeno to be, and it's a great opportunity to really delve into a massive project that we feel is going to be like a fully fledged game on Dreams. And we're looking for dedicated people, but we're also thinking of, like, having sort of contractual work. So if you're not really wanting to invest fully, but you can afford to spend time developing just one cutscene, that's something that we would be interested in too. So everything will be live this weekend. I'll have posts on the official Lucid Nebula Twitter to links to everything. So take a look and get in touch.
All right. Well, the reason I asked Vince that question about basically like the future, professional path forward for Dreams, is because I like hearing both sides of the story. Like you saying, I don't want to ruin my hobby. I want to preserve this for what I use it for. And then we have other people, especially a conversation that got really involved with chat last week, where people are like, look, I got to pay my bills and this is something I love to do. I would like to be able to take it, to that next level. I would like it to be something that I can see a future for myself in. And I guess with that in mind, I told you guys, vicious never lies to the people. So I've seen the growing pains of the community and said that I would do everything I could to try to get dreamers paid. Well, this is an opportunity. Years ago, I was approached to adapt a zany short story into a screenplay for a business acquaintance of mine that I had done like animated ads for in a past life. And I did that, and due to what I came up with, I was able to basically gain 50% stake in this IP that he wanted to get started. And he's been pitching me the idea of doing a marketing trailer to possibly turn into a full feature. And I've been trying to sell him on Dreams because I wanted to, once again, not lie to the people. I'm trying to give people away. So he's bought in now. He's bought in, and he goes, okay, well, let's make this trailer. And I said, okay, well, I'm going to give back to the community. So if you're interested in being part of the team that will be working on this animated trailer that will be used for promotional uses in a meeting that's being set up, DM me on Discord or Twitter, and I'll be speaking with people about what comes next. I need character artists, asset builders, animators, music, voice actors. That stuff will come a little bit later once we have everything set up and ready to go. There is a budget. And so basically I'm trying to accomplish this because this guy really, really, really wants to get this made. I left it in his hands. I'm like, he was telling me about giving the script off to, selling it and doing all this other stuff. I was like, that's fine, because if it's ours, then I mean, I'll take the money, being that it's, it came from his short story. It was a horrible short story, by the way. It was god awful. Like, he knows. But believe me, guys, when I say, don't think I'm talking shit. I told him this. Anything that comes from my mouth, I say to the person first. But that's what made the script so good, because it took that short story and made it into an actual story. And I'm currently on draft 3 of the script for the trailer, and we'll be posting more about it when I reach my final draft. I want serious people who are hungry. If this gets pulled off at the quality that I know is possible in Dreams, this could turn into a full feature with a much bigger budget. And this is how we put dreams in people's heads. So that's my big announcement. If you're looking to do work, if you're one of those people that have been frustrated that you can't turn it into something financial, and if you have the skills, if you have the skills to make it work, reach out to me. I'll be talking to any and everybody that comes through, see if you fit for what I'm doing, and try to just get money into people's hands, but also try like all hell to make it so people can do something with their art, because I know what it's like to stagnate and not think that you can do anything with what you love. So that's been being an aspiring filmmaker for my life. So so I know the darkness that comes with that. So I'm just putting it out there for y'all, and you let me know if you're interested. All right. So now
I
back
like money.
I like money. One of the greatest and most prophetic and sad movies of all time.
I love that movie.
Man, the first time I saw Idiocracy, I got upset because I couldn't laugh, because I was like, yo, this isn't funny. This is happening.
This is
like,
real.
like this is so real. I can't I can't laugh at this. And it took me like 5 years after the movie came out, probably more like 7 after it came out, to like sit down, rewatch it, get to Beef Supreme in that goddamn
Love Beef Supreme.
in that goddamn monster truck that couldn't fit into the stadium, and finally it broke in me, and it became one of my favorite movies. If you haven't seen Idiocracy, do it.
The Ass Dozer was the name of the truck.
Yeah.
Bigger than the Ass Blaster and bigger than the Dildozer. The Ass Dozer. I just watched it like 3 days ago, so.
Oh man,
it's fresh in the memory, you know.
Upgrade gonna get his money. Yeah. So, Afro, if you get a chance, after we're done, go back and go to about 5 minutes. If you don't rewatch the whole thing, go back to about 5 minutes, because I said things. And this has also been an amazing episode, and I can't thank Vince enough for coming on and chilling.
Thanks so much for inviting me.
And chilling with us, man. It's so good. It's so good. I've loved it. Is there anything that you would like to say to the Dreamers, but before we end?
Yeah, sure. Okay, well, now you've seen my face. Hi. I considered this, whether or not I was going to do this, I figured might as well. So I'll probably be streaming with my camera on from now on, and I plan on streaming a little bit more regularly. So far, it's just kind of been whenever I got a free moment. I'm aiming to do it. I want to aim to do it twice a week, but as of right now, I'm going to be doing it every Wednesday afternoon, like late afternoon, which would be Pacific Standard Time. So I'll have the exact times, I'm sure, posted on something. But I'm going to be doing them every Wednesday and probably like every other Sunday. So
cool.
I don't know how many times a week that is. 1.5, I guess. Um, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. My Twitter's got all my information, I think. Everything's Vince Cully, you know?
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/Vince Cully, YouTube, whatever. Yeah, other than that, I love you.
Indeed. I'll take it.
Yeah.
So, Jamie, did you have anything else you wanted to cap off with?
Oh, just keep going. Just keep going with Dreams. Like, you know, it's just such an amazing place, and it's in its infancy. We've got such a long road ahead of us, and you know, it's the people that, you know, come up to this show every weekend. Like, you know, it's the people that still creating every day in Dreams, and you look in Dream Surf, you're like, oh, there's another game from so and so, or someone else has made something else. Keep going, because I really do think, you know, Dreams is going to have its heyday, and it's going to completely change one day. It's going to be undistinguishable to what it is now. It's going to evolve into something completely different, but still amazing like it is now. So just keep going with it. Keep giving it all the love, because the more love we give it, the more stuff's going to happen with it.
Yeah.
And
cut out the Doomsday stuff, you know?
Elaborate. Elaborate.
Yeah, come on, extend on that.
The Dreams is dying. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, there's this really weird thing. Yeah, I'm gonna go off into it.
We're back, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, okay. So, there's this strange, weird thing where it's more of a recent thing. It's specifically seems to happen most of these live service games where people spend so much time and energy and a lot of times money into a game, and they get so invested that they just start getting like really hostile against the developers of the game. If anyone's played Apex Legends, has ever been on the subreddit there, or where else does this exist? Probably League of Legends. I don't really see it that much with like Rocket League or other games, but people just get into this weird mode where they're like, these fucking lazy devs who never do anything, you know what I mean? And yeah. I'm starting to see that crop up a little bit more in the Dream space, not necessarily on Twitter, but I see it a lot on the PS4. You know, Media Molecule put out that Mercedes-Benz collaboration video, and literally like every comment on the video was, when's that multiplayer update coming out? Like, Dreams needs this, Dreams needs that. And it's like, dude, you're not even talking about the content of the video. Cut it out. You know what I mean? I don't know. You got to remember, these are people. These are real people working on this stuff. And you got to put yourself in their shoes and think about how it feels to work so hard on something that obviously is amazing. Otherwise, you wouldn't be interested. And I don't know, cut them a little slack. Put yourself in their shoes and you know, have some faith, I guess. I don't know if you guys see that a lot with other games, but
I definitely see it a lot with other games. It's something that I don't necessarily see that much with Dreams, and that might be purely down to the selective people that I follow on Twitter, because that's the only place I go now for Dreams content. It used to be Facebook. On the groups there, but then when I realized all the action is on Twitter, that instantly changed. So it might just be down to the particular people that I follow on Twitter, but I would say it is pretty much 99% of the time always positive towards the developers of Media Molecule. But I mean, you're going to get that with whatever community you're in. You know, there's always going to be those people that are like, you know, do this, do that, why haven't you not done this yet? You're taking too long. And that's purely because they just don't understand what goes into development. But I think the sweet spot with Dreams is because the whole entire thing of Dreams is development anyway, the users themselves have that appreciation of how difficult it is to make something in the first place, so they don't get bombarded with like, you know, do this, do that, because they already know how difficult it is to use Dreams, let alone make it. So
right. Yeah, I don't know, I thought I'd just toss that out there. It seems like I doubt anyone watching this is one of those people, but you know, can't help to send that.
It happens. It happens. Unfortunately, it's just the world we live in. But Dreams is just such a nice space.
It
really is. It's cool.
Yeah, there's so much I wanna go into on that. But I think we should just remember that topic in probably about a month or two when we decide to do the next roundtable, and we'll get Vince back on here. Hopefully, I'm not trying to sign you up. If you want to,
come in.
Yeah,
he's on that direct debit.
Yeah,
sign me up. I'm in. I'm interested.
So basically, we're stacking up a few topics here to just go in on. I mean, the first one being, what we talked about last week with Pac's tweet regarding marketing, which is gonna always get Jammy hot and bothered.
Indeed.
That man.
It does. I could talk for like 6 hours on the marketing of PlayStation in general. Like, we need to do like a 24-hour stream.
Don't get heated. Don't get heated. Someone steeped the Earl Grey too long. My man's getting upset. So, but yeah, there's a cute that exactly, Talc. So we have quite a few things that we're taking from each episode that we're going to basically leave the whole roundtable to discuss. So we'll still be setting that up, and yeah, everybody, I hope you enjoyed your time with us today.
It's been fun.
Yeah, as well as the VODs here, you can either go to my YouTube or to Jamie's YouTube, and we have the episodes put up pretty much by tonight to watch. And again, Vince, thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah, of course. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a lot of fun.
It's a pleasure.
Yes.
And don't forget, everybody, you can also catch the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, pretty much every podcast.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's available on all of them. And
Nice.
so, if you don't have time to watch the podcast every Friday at 8 p.m. PST, 3 p.m. EST, listen to it in the car while you're driving to work or when you're coming home from work. It's there. It's available on every platform.
Oh, and Jet Yeti, if you saw the link that I posted earlier, that we do episodes called Roundtables where we'll have basically 4 other people here with us discussing the big topics in Dreams. We've done 4 of them so far now.
We have. Yeah.
And so if you check out the YouTube, go down to season 2, you'll see we started with Abby Heppy to answer your first question of whether or not we've spoken with people. And you'll see roundtables where we've had tons of people on, and we want to continue that because sometimes we just want to have a good conversation. And yeah. So anyway, again, thank you for joining us. I hope that you had fun and that you will join us again next Friday. And yeah, hit Jammy up for Deeno. Hit me up for the secret project. Hit up Vince so he can start on his coding to get basically multiplayer in the Dreams, and help him out in any way you can. We believe in the Kully. So I guess that's it, guys. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll catch you next week.
See you next Friday.
Bye.